Hi, I'm Anna. I am 6 years into a stage 4 breast cancer diagnosis, officially a long-term survivor as of last year. I recently had some concerning symptoms and went to get a PET CT scan. In this video, I'm gonna share the results with you. I'm also gonna share what I'm doing, next steps, and how I'm feeling overall. A couple of weeks ago, I started having some symptoms that were concerning to me. Bone pain all over the place. Also was having sharp abdominal pains and burning pains. Felt like muscles in my abdomen just contracting. Also dizziness, sharp pains into my head, seeing lights in my eyes when everything was completely dark. And it had been a year or two since the last scan. I thought it was time. I had been trying to avoid it to avoid the extra radiation. I have already had 3 rounds of radiation on my hip, my spine, and arm for bone mets. Not curative, just palliative, since it is already stage 4. I was taking Xgeva, which is a bone strengthener which helps to prevent bone metastases, but it has a side effect of jaw necrosis, which is irreversible, very painful, and doesn't allow you to eat or open your mouth anymore. They ask me every time before I get that injection if I'm having any jaw pain, and I had been having jaw discomfort for several months already, and then it got to pain. So we stopped that several months ago, and then all this bone pain started. So last week I had a PET CT scan where they put radioactive fluid in through my port, but the doctor forgot to order contrast. So a lot of the test is inconclusive, specifically as it has to do with internal organs. But when the results came, they showed that it was so vague. It said there are sclerotic lesions in the musculoskeletal system, which is, your bones. And I knew that, but they didn't say where, or if there were new ones, or if they are severe and require some intervention because they're about to break. And I know that happens. I went on vacation years ago, and this woman who had the same diagnosis as I do now, she sat on a beach chair and her hip broke. Yeah, I don't want that to happen to me. Then they mentioned there was some uptake in the skin, which I know because I can see it. Also in the head and neck. Again, it was vague. It didn't tell me where. Is it bone in the head and neck, or cervical spine, or lymph nodes, or I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in the head and neck area. Some of the stuff I can feel. I have some pain in the back. I also have some pain deep in here. Lastly, there was some uptake above the benign level, so essentially malignant level in the liver. And it didn't say specifically that there were tumors, it just said there was uptake. And then again, it said that they couldn't tell for the rest of the organs. It was insufficient because contrast wasn't part of the test. So what does that all mean? It means that there does seem to be some progression, some new spots. A week before I had the scan, I started back on letrozole, which is an aromatase inhibitor, which doesn't allow any of your cells to take in estrogen. I had my ovaries removed several years ago, but the body still produces estrogen. Your ovaries produce about 80%, and then your body does the other 20. So this drug just prevents all cells from being able to receive estrogen. For me, the side effects are not easy. I know that a lot of women have no side effects, but for me, I get more regular migraines, intense hot flashes, joint pain. So right now I'm in bed because it hurts. My ankles burn, my knees burn, my shoulders hurt, my neck hurts. Fatigue. Because of the fatigue, I'm not taking it every day. I've been taking it every other day because I have to work tomorrow. When I take the letrozole, I'm in bed the whole next day. And even not having taken it for a few days, I'm pretty exhausted. Last time I was only able to tolerate it for about a month and a half. It took me about 8 months to clear the intense knee pain that I was having. I was literally crying crying every time I had to lower myself to sit down on the toilet. And it's not just pain, it's legitimate damage. Many people, after a year of being on this drug, end up needing knee replacements or hip replacements from the damage that this drug has done to their joints. In addition, I have also started some other alternative or complementary treatments, some of which I can't talk about on YouTube. One of my videos, in fact, my most viewed video that is responsible for 81% of the views on my channel, got taken down for misinformation, which, well, censorship. That's what's happening these days. I don't want to lose access to this platform and being able to share and communicate with you. So if you would like to know what I'm doing that I can't talk about on YouTube, please send me an email at annascancerjourney@gmail.com. That's Anna with one N, ANA. I'll leave the email in the description and in a pinned comment too. One of the things I'm doing is really exciting, but also kind of scary, but it has given me some really quick success with one of the tumors on my skin. It's pretty drastic what it did in just a few days. So I'm really hopeful about that. My next steps, I don't think I'm gonna ask for another scan with contrast yet. I want to limit the radiation exposure. I'm going to stick with the letrozole every other day for a bit, and with some of these other alternative things that I'm trying and getting back on the ball with. I'm also looking for and chatting with other long-term survivors to see what they did and glean advice and information and hope from them. I'm also once again working on discipline with eating right and exercise, sticking with treatments, whether conventional or alternative, which has not been easy for me. If you know someone who is a health coach or a life coach that is good with working with people that don't do so well with discipline, please send them my way. I could really use the support in that area. And then lastly, something I don't talk about too much is connecting spiritually, working on releasing old wounds and beliefs that don't serve me. Lots of praying, reading sacred texts, journaling, working with a therapist, and working with psychedelics and meditating, being in the sunshine, getting fresh air, and loving my friends and family, making an effort to commune with people even when I'm more naturally introverted. And I am considering at some point going out of the country for some alternative treatments. I've now talked to several people that had positive results, and I've also read of people who did not have positive results, but I never know till I try. And what I do know is that I'm sensitive to the conventional drugs. My mom was super sensitive to chemicals. She passed her very first round of chemo. And I know that just in my heart and my mind, I feel more comfortable with some of the more natural, non-toxic modalities. And I'd like to try those first before I have to get into the harsher conventional drugs, which I'm not opposed to if that time comes, but it's not something I'm ready to do right now. And so even though there is pain and I do feel tired, and there are ups and downs with fear and anxiety, there has been a really, well, miraculous level of peace and joy and love that I have been able to feel in greater measure lately. And I'm so grateful to you, those of you who support me in whatever way. I'd like to give a shout out to my friends Amber and Leslie, without which, gosh, I don't know how I would get through my days. The text threads keep me going. You miraculous women know exactly what to say and just bring so many gifts into my life day after day. Thank you. To my wonderful husband, Nate, and daughter, Maya, who live with me day in and day out and don't get annoyed with me when I ask you to pass me things when I'm not feeling well, and who don't make cancer a thing. We don't talk about it unless we have to, and who fill me with so much joy watching you live your lives. and having you both encouraging me to live my life and continue to make plans and continue to pursue passions, and how we have just our little circle of love where we get to practice giving love and receiving love. And my dear, dear, beautiful friends who are like family, the Redsickers. Without you, I don't know that I would see other people in the flesh almost ever. The depth that we can go in with talking about spiritual matters, my life would not be nearly as rich without you in it. Thank you. And thank you for the meals, Patricia, especially taking care to make sure that it's organic and doesn't have animal products and is low glycemic. Thank you to my Facebook friends, Mary and Maggie. Even though we never see each other, you both are always sending me messages, checking up on me to see how I'm doing, and it really means a lot. Thank you, Liberty, whom I have never met, who leaves a comment on every single video I post. And there's a few others of you. I'm sorry for not calling you out by name, but you don't know how much it lifts my spirits to hear from you. Thank you, Mag, who I don't know how you found me, but you sent me an email with and the new alternative treatment that I'm trying that, wow, I had never heard about it before, but it seems like it has so many positive testimonies of people who were sent home to die on hospice care with late stage cancer and recovered. Phenomenal. I can't thank you enough for taking the time to reach out to a complete stranger with this. And thank you to my friend Shruti, who is in Mexico right now at a clinic and starting to feel better. Thank you for the daily check-ins. Thank you for being on this journey with me, sister. We can talk about our lows. I don't mind just letting loose with you and crying and expressing my frustration or my depressive moments, because I know you understand in a way that few other people can. And to my Tío David, who sends me sweet texts every once in a while that just says, love you, baby. Having lost the family closest to me, my mom and my grandma, I really appreciate having a family member who checks in on me and who I know will be there for me the second I ask for anything. Thank you, Theo. And there are so many other people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the gifts of cancer, of which there are many, that's a whole nother video, is the way I've been able to receive love so much more fully lately. There's a quote that really helped me open up in being able to receive love, and I'd like to share it. It's from A Course in Miracles. It's Principle of Miracles, the first one. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. And that's how I feel. I feel like all of your expressions of love, whether little or big, are maximal. I just have felt an opening to be able to receive them more lately. Thank you. And then the third verse, miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. Which brings me to my next point for how I've been feeling is, gosh, in so many ways, so wonderful. I've been able to experience so many little miracles as this journey has been unfolding. Before my diagnosis, this is what I would pray for. So right now, this journey is full of sweetness, full of gratitude. And because of that, I'm okay. I'm more than okay. Life is wonderful. I had no idea about the power of love before this diagnosis. But because I've been able to receive it, I feel safe. I feel full of joy. I feel loved. What else can we ask for in this life? And I feel hopeful. I feel like I still have many years ahead of me, and maybe if I make it long enough, a cure, and I might be around till I'm 90. I love you. Talk to you soon.